operational security.
At dawn this morning, Saudi troops swept across Saddam Hussein's much-vaunted berm, the defensive barrier of sand ridges and ditches to halt an invasion, and entered Kuwait. Heavy artillery hammered the Iraqi defenses just before the attack went in. But there was no flaming oil, as threatened by Saddam, no Iraqi resistance. Hundreds of Saudi tanks and armored personnel carriers poured nose to tail through breaches in the berm and fanned out across the desert.
We are entering now to Kuwait. We would like to liberate Kuwait from Saddam Hussein, and we will try to follow him until we kill Saddam Hussein.
The operation went like clockwork, columns of tanks and armored personnel carriers moving to a prearranged plan, advancing on a broad front past empty Iraqi foxholes and one shattered heavy gun. An empty Iraqi position and Saudi armor in the Kuwaiti desert. Now they're moving forward in the direction of Kuwait City. 10 or 15 miles inside Kuwait, the lead Saudi column took their first Iraqi prisoners. Sandy Gall, ITN, with Saudi troops inside Kuwait.
Pilots had flown over the border at the moment the land war started. They returned with the first eyewitness accounts of the battle below.
We went in about the center of the border between Iraq or between Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, and we could tell that there was some kind of ground fire or something going on both the west and the east side of us.
Throughout the border?
Throughout the border.
What about Kuwait City?
All you could tell from Kuwait City was that its lights were still on. There was quite a glow from that area. Again, everything being pretty much clouded over.
It looks like what I envisioned hell would look like. I hope I never have the opportunity to see firsthand, but the country of Kuwait is burning.
Over 200 blazing oil wells formed the backdrop to the battlefield. Distant guns boomed out across the no man's land in the prelude to all-out war. This firefight, filmed on the eve of battle, only hinted at the intensity of the exchanges now taking place along the border. Apache helicopters have attacked deep into Iraqi-held territory, using infrared night sights to pick out their targets. The Apaches are proving highly efficient tank killers. Any armor caught in the open is helpless against its Hellfire missiles. The Allies' own tanks are now thrusting deep into Kuwait and Iraq, a swift and flexible offensive designed to throw their opponents off balance by striking in many places along a 200-mile front. These pictures, which reveal the Allied battle formation, have just been released. To hide their hand, the US military had embargoed the footage until the ground campaign had begun. A dress rehearsal for the biggest land battle since World War II, as 1 million men face each other across the desert wilderness. British artillery has been at the forefront of the fighting. The Desert Rats, pushing into Iraq west of Kuwait, are now engaged in heavy shelling. So too the British Army's multiple rocket launchers, laying down a steel pathway to spearhead the Allies' advance. The full force of Desert Storm is being unleashed. Jeremy Thompson, ITN in Saudi Arabia.